competition.
Thank you all so much for clicking on this video. My name is Kela Trishaan, and I make videos on lifestyle, womanhood, and mental health. So if those are some things that interest you, go on ahead and click on that subscribe button below, and be sure to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Okay, so in today's video, I wanted to tackle the topic of grief. I had another video planned for today, but this topic was inspired because I lost a cousin recently in the last week. And it just really made me think about the last several years because I have lost a few people close to me. I know that not everybody has gone through a loss, but unfortunately it is inevitable. And I think a lot of the feelings around grief are just not talked about. There may be feelings that you have that you may not feel are normal, or you just simply may not know how to go about it, what to do, what's going on. And I just wanted to kind of open up that conversation because I think a lot of it is just, it's a fear. It's scary to think about losing people close to you, but it's an unfortunate reality that we're all going to face one day. So I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the emotions that I felt, and then also give you some tips for dealing with friends or family that have lost people, how you can be there for them, and how you can just make sure that they are in a good mental space. So if you're interested, or if you're just curious, please stay tuned. Okay, so the first emotion that I felt when I've lost someone is shock. I think that I can speak for most everyone when I say that no matter what the situation is, no matter if that person was terminally ill, if they lived a dangerous lifestyle, whatever, no matter what happens, it is always going to be shocking when you find out that somebody passed away. Now, again, although I feel like this is a normal emotion, it may not be the same for everyone, so I'm not trying to make a blanket statement, but I know for me, every time I've lost someone, even if they were not in the best health, it was still a shock. The shock is just basically like, it is real, and this person is no longer living. This person, has transitioned, and I'm not going to get a chance to speak to them anymore. They're not going to be a part of my physical world anymore, and it's tough. It's tough. And so I feel like the initial feelings that I typically have is a shock factor. Like, oh my God, this is it. The second set of emotions that tend to follow the shock, once it's kind of set in that that person is no longer here, is I feel a combination of anger, confusion, and hurt. Now, you can feel all of these emotions at the same time. You can feel one of the emotions. You can feel some of them here, some of them there. However you feel it is normal. But I say that because, for example, with my grandparents, in each situation where I've lost a grandparent, I have felt kind of confused in a way, because in each situation I was planning to go see them in the days or weeks leading up to them passing. And so when I got the call that, they had passed away, I was confused, I was angry and hurt, and mostly I was angry at myself for not making the time. I do feel like just with working and with school, a lot of times that was my excuse. Like, oh, I'll get over there when I can, or yeah, I'm gonna go this weekend, and then this weekend comes and I end up not going. And the reality sets in that, okay, next weekend never came, or the next day never came. And I think that that's important to just think about. That's important to think about on a regular. Just make the time when you're dealing with your family members or friends, whether they be older or younger, but especially our older ones. Make that time, because sometimes tomorrow does not come. And that is something, it sounds cliche, but it's true. Tomorrow doesn't always come. So if someone's on your mind, if you haven't seen somebody in a while, make sure that you try to get over there on a regular. Life is busy. This is true, but make sure that you get over there on the regular. So just to kind of get back to the point, a lot of it was me being angry at myself because I felt like I could have made more time to just spend time with them in those final moments. Obviously I was confused because it's like I said earlier, you expect people to pass, but when it happens, it is shocking, and sometimes you can just be confused, especially if it seems to come out of nowhere. So that was one of the emotions that was heavy on me. And then obviously the hurt, because in my mind, I feel like I may have failed you if I didn't come to see you before you transitioned. And so to avoid those things, to avoid those feelings, I would say if you are in a situation where you're still lucky enough to have your grandparents or parents around, make sure that you make the time to spend time. Make the time to even just call if you're not able to get over there, whatever the case may be, but you just don't ever want to be in a situation where you're thinking, what if, or I never had the chance to. So just try to kind of keep that at the forefront of your mind, especially when you're dealing with people that are older than you. The next emotion that I tend to feel is an anxiety and depression. And I'm putting those in the same topic line because I feel like I kind of bounce back and forth between the two. So what I mean is it's an anxiety when you know that you're not going to see someone again. When someone transitions over, you are immediately thinking about, okay, what is my life gonna look like with this person not in it? I think that like all of us, you get into, again, a routine, you get into your daily life and you just expect people to be around. I really do think it is a defense mechanism that we as humans have, because if you're always thinking about death and, you know, things like that, you're not going to be happy. It's a depressing thought, but unfortunately it is a reality. So I know for me, it was a lot of just anxiety around what is life going to look like, what's going to happen with their home, what's going to happen with these people, you know, that were close to them. It's all of that. And then that anxiety can turn into a bit of a depression, because it's like you're really just kind of starting to accept, your mind and body are starting to accept that this person is no longer here. And so you just, it's almost like you want a miracle to happen where they reappear, but you know, your body knows that that's not going to happen. And so you have to figure out how you are going to move forward without them. They say that time heals all, and time does ease the pain, but I don't want to say it heals, because it's always going to be that missing piece, but you do learn to live your new normal, if that makes sense. And then the last thing that I'm going to say really on the feelings is that any feeling that you have is normal. There's no right or wrong way to feel when somebody passes away. There are times where someone has passed and I didn't have a reaction at first because I was in such shock. So it was like I didn't immediately cry, or I didn't immediately feel the confusion. I was kind of numb, and then the emotions rushed in later where I'm just like, oh my God, like this is really what's going on. And then there have been times where I felt all the emotions immediately, and then later on I was numb. So I just want to say that if you are going through something like this, if you've gone through something like this before, there's no right or wrong way to feel. However you feel is the right way. And it's tough because it's a loss. Even though it is a natural progression of life, it is a loss. So you just need to figure out ways to cope so that you can move forward. I hate to say it like this, I really do, and I don't want to offend anyone, but kind of the way I talk myself out of it is, unless I'm going to jump in the grave with them, I need to figure out a way to move forward. I need to figure out a way to keep on keeping on, because I still have life to live. I still have relationships here that I need to cultivate and nurture. So I need to be able to function to, continue those relationships. I think that a lot of times we go through a process where we're like, oh, I should be more sad about this, or I should be less sad, or why am I not progressing, or whatever. And you have to understand that with grief, there are levels to it. There are going to be times where you're going to be okay and you are going to be able to live your life and live the day and everything's going to be fine. But there are also going to be times where you are super depressed. There are going to be times where a song may play on the radio and it brings you back to a place where you were with that person, and those are all normal things. So as long as you know that everybody deals with grief in their own way and everybody is able to move forward in their own way, then you're that much closer to just kind of being able to live with it and live your new normal. What can you do to help someone that is going through a loss? My number one tip is to be available for the person in whatever way they need. Understand that sometimes people want to be around others to get their mind off of it, but there are other times where people just want to be left alone, and you need to be okay with either or. Don't push yourself on someone if they don't want to have company. Sometimes people just need to be alone in the process. It's nothing against you. It just means that they need that time. And when they're ready to be around you, they will reach out. There's going to be other situations where they want to be around other people to get their mind off of it. And if that's what they need, then make sure that you are there for them in that way. I tend to just go with whatever that person wants. I don't try to, push my way in the situation. I literally just ask, what do you need? And whatever you need, I try to be there in that capacity. So if you know someone that is going through a loss, or if it's you that experienced a loss, know that you have options and people should be able to respect your boundaries. The second tip that I have is to make sure that they have what they need. I know for me specifically, when my father passed away, I was not eating. Like, I went about a day without eating anything. And then I think the next day I probably picked at some food and, drank a little bit of water. But the one thing that really helped me is people making sure that I ate, people making sure that I was hydrated, because again, you're still living, you still have to take care of yourself. It's easier said than done, but if you know that somebody is going through that, then maybe you want to bring them food. If they don't want you to bring them food, maybe you want to send them food. Again, make sure they're staying hydrated. They might want to drink, whatever they need to just be okay. Make sure that they have that. That's a way to just kind of show your love for just basic human necessities. Make sure that they have what they need as far as food and water. The last tip that I have for just being there for someone that has gone through a loss is to steer clear of offering opinions or criticizing the way they feel. I think that most people do mean well. Most people are not trying to make you feel bad. They just really truly don't know what to say, but that doesn't mean that it's not detrimental when they say certain things. So you've got to be cognizant of that. Don't tell anybody how you think they should feel at this time, or just don't say anything if you don't know what to say. I'm trying to think of some cliche sayings that people say that could be hurtful, but I can't really think about it right now. I think really the biggest thing that you can do is just be there as a listening ear. Sometimes people don't need you to say anything, they just need you to be there, whether that be you sitting in silence or whether that be you listening to them. So just kind of steer clear of making any suggestions or whatever, because you just never know what that person is going through mentally. And you just want to make sure that you don't ruin a relationship while somebody is mourning the loss of, a loved one. So yeah, I am sorry that I got so heavy with the topic today. Again, it was just inspired because my cousin just passed away, and I wanted to just kind of shed light because I don't think that we really talk about the topic of grief a lot. And I just wanted to bring that to the forefront and just say that there will be better days. You will eventually learn how to live with it, but take the time that you need to get better and just work on your mental health. You need to know that things will never go back to the way they were before that person passed away, but there is a new normal. And if this is somebody that you love, somebody that you cared about, they will want you to live your life to the fullest and to, just remember them, keep their memory alive, however you do that, and take care of yourself. If you guys like this video, please go on ahead and give me a thumbs up. Make sure to comment below if you have any additional tips that you would like to add. I will be coming back Friday with a story time video, so that'll be a little more uplifting and funny. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. So if you guys enjoy this content, go on ahead and subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. You guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.
My shit be natural like I'm Amish. They hate me because I'm honest. You focusing on gossip, I'm focusing on the